What kind of people do extreme sports?
I suppose that people who like to engage in extreme sports are usually adventurous youngsters who are not afraid of taking risks. For them, taking part in extreme sports like skydiving or mountain climbing, it's a way to unwind and release stress. These sports help players take a break away from their daily routine and give them a great sense of freedom.
Why are some people willing to try dangerous extreme sports?
Well, there are many reasons why people love to participate in extreme sports, but I think the most common reason is that people just love the sense of being free that these sports can give, and that sense comes from the feeling of being in control. Like when you do extreme sports and you put your life on the line, you're basically confronting your fear and trying to overcome it. That can make you feel very powerful and liberated.
Should people take more into account the risks that extreme sports may bring?
Yeah, I think when people take part in a sport, especially extreme sports, they have to be deeply aware of the risks involved. This will obviously help them take precautions and avoid injuries. For instance, if people want to learn rock climbing, they need to bear in mind the risk of falling from height so that they can avoid it by wearing protective gear or learning the proper techniques.
Why do people keep inventing new and slightly dangerous sports?
Actually, this is quite easy to understand. I think innovation can happen at any time and in any field. Extreme sports are no exception. High-risk sports are constantly invented because the players always want to push the limits more and more. These sports are in a way a test of what a body and mind can do, so the higher the stakes are, the more adrenaline the players get.
What risks are there in extreme sports, and who takes these consequences?
Well, I suppose high-risk sports come with some safety risks that players need to be mindful of because they are the ones that bear the consequences. And when I say safety risk, I'm referring to the risk of injuries. For example, snowboarding is an awesome sport, but it also comes with the risk of knee injuries if players don't follow the safety guidelines. Sometimes these injuries can be fatal, so the participants really need to be careful when it comes to taking part in extreme sports.
Why are some people unwilling to try new things?
I think there are many reasons for this. To begin with, some people are just hyper cautious by nature. They don't try out new things because they don't want to put themselves in an unfamiliar situation where they might be at disadvantage. That's why they'd rather stay in their comfort zone and stick to what they are familiar with. Also, I think some people are reluctant to try out new things because they are a bit close-minded. These people just hold on to conventional ideas and they don't feel the need to learn new ones. They think that what they know is the most ideal and nothing else can top that.
Do you think that children adapt to new things more easily than adults?
Yeah, I do think that this is very likely to happen. Kids might find it easier to adapt compared to adults because they're usually more open-minded and inquisitive. Kids are curious about new things and they have the tendency to mimic what they see, which contributes to their good adaptability, unlike adults who are usually more rigid and inflexible. Besides, kids can adapt faster because they can learn faster. And this is because they are not as scared of failing as adults. Kids are not afraid of being an idiot and they can just keep practicing again and again until they can get the hang of it.